All right, let's talk about an empire, but not one built on land or gold, one built on a shoe. We're going to dive into how one single partnership, one that was this close to never even happening, ended up reshaping sports, fashion, and culture forever. Okay, so first things first, let's just throw a number out there. $10 billion with a B. That's the estimated value of the Jordan brand today. I mean, it's a number so massive, it almost doesn't feel real, right? And here's the really wild part. That entire $10 billion empire, it all traces back to one single partnership. One deal signed way back, almost 40 years ago, that just set everything in motion. So yeah, that's the big question we're tackling today, isn't it? How in the world did one guy and one shoe build a global empire? To figure that out, we've got to rewind the clock all the way to the beginning. And it all kicks off with a partnership that was, well, let's just say it was a long shot. A deal that, seriously, almost didn't happen at all. We're talking 1984, and the world of sports is about to get a major shakeup. So you got to picture the scene back in '84. You have this young phenom, Michael Jordan, and he's only got eyes for one brand, Adidas. I mean, they were the name in basketball back then. And Nike, piff. Nike was the running shoe company, and honestly, they were kind of struggling. But they did something crazy. They decided to bet the farm, their entire basketball budget, on this one unproven rookie. And get this, Jordan didn't even want to talk to Nike. He was totally against it. It was actually his agent, and especially his mom, who pretty much forced him to just go and listen to what they had to say. This quote says it all. He was so close to just walking away before it even started. So what did Nike do? They came in with an offer that was just unheard of at the time. It wasn't just about the money. They offered him his own signature shoe, his own clothing line. But here, this was the part that changed everything. Royalties. A cut of every single pair of shoes sold. See, they weren't just trying to sign an athlete. They were pitching a true partnership. They wanted to build an entire brand around him. For a rookie, nobody was doing that. Nobody. So he took the deal. And what came next? Well, it wasn't just a shoe. It was the birth of a cultural icon. And it all kicked off with some controversy. This shoe right here, the infamous band shoe, the original Air Jordan 1. See, the NBA had this super strict rule that your shoes had to be mostly white. And this was not mostly white. The league was, let's just say, not a fan. The NBA fined him $5,000 every single game he wore them. Now, for most companies, that's a PR nightmare, but for Nike's marketing team, it was a gift. They turned it into pure marketing gold. They just happily paid the fines and built an entire ad campaign around it. It was rebellious, it was cool, and it was the greatest commercial they never really had to pay for. And you have to understand how fast this all went down. It's insane. He signs the deal in '84. A few months later, the whole band controversy explodes. By the time the shoe actually hits stores in '85, the hype is absolutely off the charts. They didn't just meet sales targets, they blew them out of the water. The legend was born pretty much overnight. Okay, so having one hit shoe is awesome, but that doesn't make you a global empire. So what was the next move? How did they take that initial explosion and turn it into an absolute powerhouse that would last for decades? Well, they basically had a blueprint. First up, the logo. They created the Jumpman, which is now one of the most recognized symbols on the planet. Then they completely defined the culture. Remember those commercials with Spike Lee? It's gotta be the shoes. That wasn't just selling a product, it was selling a vibe. Then they got smart and branched out. Apparel, lifestyle gear, the whole shebang. And the masterstroke? In 1997, they made Jordan its own separate brand inside of Nike. That gave it the freedom it needed to become the absolute behemoth it is today. So all those steps, one by one, built the legacy of the Jumpman. And that brings us right back to where we started, that jaw-dropping $10 billion number. So let's take a look at what that empire really looks like right now. And this right here shows you just how powerful that original deal really was. Look at this. The first bar, that's what a top-tier NBA superstar makes in salary today. A huge amount of money. But that second bar, that's what Michael Jordan makes from the Jordan brand in 1 year. Even now, decades after he retired, he makes more money from his shoe royalties than the best active players make from their contracts. Just let that sink in. And that's really the legacy, isn't it? Let's call it the Jordan effect. Because this whole partnership did so much more than just sell sneakers. It totally rewrote the rulebook for athlete endorsements. It blurred the lines between sports and fashion and culture like never before. And in the process, it launched Nike from being a struggling company to the absolute top of the mountain. The story of Air Jordan is just a masterclass in vision, in marketing, and in the power of one single game-changing partnership. It really makes you wonder, as we look to the future, what's going to be the next deal that changes everything?